Hey, how's it going, everybody? How's it going? I'm back with another live stream. Just gonna continue working on Nest.js authentication and also Ionic Angular for the front end. So we've been doing this live stream. I think it's the fifth session that I've done for this, and we're gonna continue looking at how do we work on authentication using Nest.js. There's going to be quite a lot of things in this session. So yeah, I'm really excited. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I can read the chat and I will try to answer those. And the request in the last live stream about font being really small, so I've increased them. If you hey Lord, how are you, mate? If you think there is a problem with the font size, let me know. I'll increase that more. But it gets quite hard to actually work when the fonts are like too big and I can see where there's code. So yeah, I would prefer to see more code at the same time because my monitor is 4K and I want to utilize that. So okay, so today's agenda is going to be looking at the function called reset password, and then the cleanup that we need to do. So I'm going to start by, first of all, looking at some of the code that I left yesterday. So that's like a same session from yesterday. I would like to monitor OBS as well. I'd just like to see what are the quality of it. Maybe put it here somewhere. Alright, and I'm going to use the Chrome browser here. Yep, easy to switch. Okay, that's cool. So, one second. Okay, that's better. So it's trying to connect to the database. I think the connection to database has been changed. That's why it's just saying queuing. Because I was using Wi-Fi to do the live stream before, but because there was a lag in Wi-Fi, so I just connected my Mac to the LAN. That made the internet speed much better on my computer. And the question that I got here is um, take a look at the Flask for backend development in Python. That's pretty cool. Django is another one, but that's like really high level, so it gives you everything out of the box. I have done the tutorial on my channel. Uh, Hi Ishan, how are you? Okay. So that's our reset function that we're gonna have to work on. So if I take a look at services, let's make it a little bit smaller. Okay, not this one. Yep, and we should have an API call now. I am using Angular, man, in this live stream. So if you want to follow along with me in these live streams, you're more than welcome to. And also, you will learn how to architect Angular and Angular and SJS, which is very have the same kind of design. So I basically use something NRWLNX. So this is something that is really nice when you are uh, following the mono repo concept. So my code is pretty much as like it's like a microservices uh, that I've designed, and WRL. So let me just take you to the extension. Python. That's Instagram meme. Yeah, no more PHP, mate. It's not dead, but don't use it. Okay, so here is the library or package that I'm using to maintain my code into a macro libraries within the code. So if you look at the web storm here in structure, we got this library folder where these are basically small libraries within the code. So if something like authentication in a Nix project, I can basically just call this nest auth from a GitHub, just like you install in package.json, and then that will just work out of the box. So the design I'm using is like microservices within the code. So yeah, if you want to follow along, I'll put that in a playlist as well. So if we go to YouTube, uh, nah, no, just go to YouTube. And if I go to, so that's my suggestion that I'm live. So if I go to playlist, uh, I'll actually, yeah, this one. So he's like, the live project-based coding session using Angular and SJS, so you guys can follow along. So right now I'm live at the fifth session. So I've organized them into, playlist. So yeah. Eshan, man, video, but that's not, you shouldn't be copying that. Every project will have a different use case. So what I was talking about in that video was about the concept that you have to follow, the pattern that you have to follow. This is not about, they are just common patterns. Like one of them is like encapsulation, where you keep the related code into one place and you don't let it get off the outside world, which means it's like a macro library. I think I have that repo somewhere. I can put that on the GitHub and share if you want to refer to that. But anyways, I'm gonna now. If you have any question, let me know. So that's the reset password function. And if I go to let's just hide a few things there, and I'm gonna open the API file. Okay, so there's a reset password API that should go. Okay, so there is no reset. What I'll do is I'll create one after the, let's just say, um, maybe you have to log out. I'll just copy that there. And I'm gonna have to make a space there, and that's going to be the post request, required authentication authorization, and that's gonna go to auth reset password. Okay, so in our auth controller, I want to verify this is the right part. So right now, this is use that in the HTTP file. I wish I could. That would have been really nice, but yeah. So now what I'll do here is I'm just going to just uncheck that, and I'm going to pass in the data right here. So either I can use the file, or I can use like, um, I can use like, uh, what do you call, uh, like a JSON right here. I think I've used that somewhere here. Yeah, that one. So I'll take a sample, this one, and I'm gonna put that here. That would require a token and just a password. Okay. So let's just say password should be password 123 for this user. And I'm going to now make this a call. So I'll do dev, and that's saying nope, it's not doing. So what I'll do is I'll have to start the app. Actually, no. Gotta go to package.json, and this was the script that I need to run and then debug that. Okay. Uh, Again, the size of like text are really big on my screen. Just decrease the size, guys. It might just be 14. That just probably help a bit. I'll leave the code like size as it is, but I wanna have like more room to see, so it makes me work faster. So, oh, what is pasting? 1 second. Okay, so the debugger is running. Now let's try making this call, and let's see what happens. Okay, so you got sales code 400, unexpected token JSON. It says bad request. Okay, so let's just, and now let's go and debug that. I'll just do return, and I'll just say attempting reset password. Okay, and let's just comment out this line. Now if I go and run that API call, that is unauthorized. Okay, so what I need to do is we need to log in. So where is it here? Gotta log in, and let's log in first, and we got the token. And then if I go to reset password this time, I'll run, and it says attempting reset password. Okay, that means we're hitting the API call, so that's good. So once we're hitting the API endpoint, here is some magic that we need to do. I will change this return to console.log, and I'm just going to, okay, that should be good. So that gives me like, I'm hitting that API. All right, so what it needs to return, it needs to confirm that the API was hit and the password has been reset. So I will go ahead and first of all, so if you look at the database, okay, we go to user table, and you notice that the password being stored as plain text, and that's not right. We need to hash the password. So the way we can do that, it will do is something Maybe we can find that hashing in Nest.js. So I'd like to go to this section, fundamentals, not this one actually, go to security, yeah, and then authentication, encryption. So it says encryption is the process of encoding information. The process converts the original representation of information, known as plain text, into an alternative for known scripted ciphertext. So we got this built in, so we didn't really need to import anything. The Nest.js actually, uh, okay, my internet is a little bit down right now. Anyways, so this encryption and a hash is probably already built in. Well, it's not. So what I will need to do is I need to use this bytecrypt, and I need to use this bytecrypt library. So we will hash the password before we store that in a database. So very simple. We go to WebStorm, open uh, CMD, and I'm gonna first think I'm using the proper Node.js version. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm gonna use npm install. Let me confirm the name. That's by now. Just copy this, man. There will be packages that will have the same name. And what I'll need to do is I need to do dash dash save. Okay, that will save that in a package.json. So next time I do npm run, that will be basically saved. So I don't want to lose it. So let's go to package.json file. And I'm gonna stop the debugger. I'm using a lot of but that's like my workflow. I can use the mouse here. That's fine as well. A lot of developers use, like mostly use developer, but my workflow is just the keyboard navigation. I don't use mouse most of the time working in WebStorm. Even switching windows, like for example, here is like a term. I can expand its size, I can decrease its size just with the keyboard. I can hide it and bring it up as well. And switching Chrome is like one key away for me. So now we do uh, its types, and then that would be dash D. So what that D does is there's a dependency of development. So like this one. So dev dependency that will install in the dev dependencies. So let's just type bytecrypt. Yeah, that's fine. And it's going to install its types. Actually, have to. So once these two packages gets installed, then we are going to use this library to hash our password before we store it. That will go into the a separate function. Okay, so that's installed. I'm just gonna verify that. So BCRY. Okay. So we got a bytecrypt there, but the problem is the types were not added. So what I'll do now, go back and reinstall that, but I'll do dash dash save as well. That will save that in dependencies, which means next time I will just do npm install. I won't have to worry about this, not being installed straight away. Today I see I got no likes on my live stream, guys. Not sure you guys liking it or not, but yesterday I had like quite a bit likes, so I would, I would appreciate if you can smash that like button. Anybody watching this live stream, I really appreciate that. Okay, so we got this types for bytecrypt. Let's go to the way they are, hashing the password. And then Bikegrip library has its own documentation. So if I do Bikegrip docs, that'll take me to this npm package, and that's where the documentation are. So yeah, okay, it's got asynchronous support as well. And there's quite a bit of documentation here, so that's good. So we can use this documentation. Now I want to mention one thing, guys. A lot of time my fellow developers, my friends on YouTube, ask me, hey, give me advice, how do I improve, how do I learn. uh, you might find some big YouTube channels have like done a lot of tutorials like Python, Java, Node, JavaScript, C++, and a whole bunch of libraries. Uh, Now these people, they don't really learn everything. Uh, the best way to actually create tutorials or just do the work is by opening original documentation. You notice that I don't have a Stack Overflow open on my Chrome browser because I don't really like Stack Overflow until I don't really use Stack until I don't have any information on the original documentation. So I would highly recommend that, do not get yourself in a feeling where you think, oh, people know a lot and I don't know anything and I cannot do the job and I cannot do development. I'm a self-taught developer. I don't have any computer science degree or anything. I just sit on the computer and learn myself. And no, don't waste time watching like, just general YouTube or doing anything like, which is a time wasting on the computer. Spend time on the coding and then you'll get there. And then pretty much the frameworks, everything is they have like a tutorial series and documentation. So you need to understand concept, not learn the actual framework. So now I have not played with Bikegrip in Nest.js. So I'm just straight away using it and just going through the documentation and finding the solution as you can see on my live stream. So here we got this. I might wanna just see for the hashing. We recommend to either use Bikegrip or Aragon package. Okay. Nest itself does not provide any additional wrappers on top of these modules to avoid introducing unnecessary abstraction, making learning curve short. That's good. Let's use Bikegrip to hash the random password. So here we got this. Okay, what is this salt or round? I'm not getting that. So to generate a salt, use gen salt function and await gen salt to compare, just as compare password and then the hash. Very easy. Uh, and it says you can read more available functions. So click here. Let's see where does it take me. Yeah, that takes me to the same page. And I want to find out what is a salt. Get salt. If there's any information, I've not really used the salt word before. Do you guys have any suggestion? Okay, well, let's start. It actually just starts pasting. I'm actually using two computers right now, using this Logitech options, and then I'm using like a flow where I can switch between my computers with same mouse and keyboard, and that really helps. But it's kind of weird a bit. but that would help me to, that would make me to read this article. I don't want to waste that time now, so I'll just go and use that. Just not worry about it for now. I'll read that later. So where was that? Yep, that's the one. So I'm gonna put that on the right browser and I'm gonna start typing in a web storm. So first of all, let's go to auth controller and I'm going to go and register the function. So go to, okay, so I'll just do this. Anyways, so I'll go to register function and that's the register function. Okay, and then we get the body there and it says user found, find one. If that's the case, then return register user error response, otherwise just user. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll have to create a user first. So I'm going to use this user equal to uh hmm, hmm. Let me try this. So I'll do user dot and I get the password equal to, and then I'm going to, on the top, I'm just going to import okay. So now let's go down and we're going to use bycrypt dot and we're going to do just a hash, and for that I'm just going to use user dot password and just do salt 10. All right, and I would just do console.log user right here. Okay, so it's just giving me some issues. So it says inside await. Yes, that's going to be a promise. You see, WebStorm is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Nice stuff. Okay, so I'm going to just do an, I'm going to register another user. So for that, we're going to go to services and see this is not actually storing all my, calls, HTTP call. So I'll have to go to API.html file. I'm going to have to find register call. That's the one. And let's take a look at the user first. Okay, we're going to go to this file and we got this 3. I'm going to do 4, and I'll just password, just leave that as a password. Okay, so now we go to register, run, and because the dev is not running, okay, that's fine. I'll just run API with the debugger. So let's just wait for this to finish. Okay, let's do register call. Okay, right, so there we go. So we got this password as hashed. Okay, now because we have this password hashed and then the password that we used just a password T4. So let's go to login call now. So we'll go to login call, and here I'm gonna log in with T4. Okay, save this, and let's try running it. And it should tell me unauthorized. It should tell me the wrong password. Actually, it's the wrong password. Okay, that's one more thing that we need to fix. So what I can do here is I'll do this to do. Actually, not here, but I'll go to the login. So right now it's saying unauthorized. So where is our here's a login, and I want to say if the password is wrong, then this should just return password is wrong. So we go inside this. This is a if token expiry, return token, yes. Okay, validate user. So that's the one here. This is where it's getting validated. So if the user and the password in user and user password is equal to password, console results. Otherwise, just return null. No, that function has to be a bit improved. I don't know why I did null for that time, but for now, let's worry about the password. So we did store the password. Now, if I go to login call, and here we get the request, and I'm going to add a breakpoint here, and I'm going to put that as a watcher, and add a watcher to it. So I'll just say add two watches. Okay. Now I'm going to services, and I'm gonna run the login call again. All right, where is the login call? So we'll do API play login call, and I'm not sure why it's not hitting. Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Before it hits this is actually going to get validated here, local auth guard. And that's local auth guard, and we go to local auth, and this is where it's gonna get hit. So I will, first of all, will need to go to local auth guard, and that's just the this is just extending this. And the function that we have for that is auth service here. And I'm going to here. So first thing we can do, I'm trying to find I want to find a function which actually returns the backward. So here we got services. I'm going to generate a new service using Angular semantics, and I'm going to say um, let's use the class, and I'll say bwise ripped, and that will generate actually not the service, but this is like I'm going to go right click, yeah, inside right click, and I'm going to create a folder called utils. And inside utils, I'm going to move this backward. Okay, here. So I'm just adding a wrapper, my own wrapper to it. So go to utils and backward.ts file, and we're gonna go to auth controller first of all, right above. I'll just where was that? So used. So instead of using this here, when I cut it, okay, and I'm going to go up, put it here now, and let's get rid of it. So one design uh, that I follow on my code is I don't really like to directly import from the third-party library. So what I'll do is I will wrap them into my own file and use it from there. So and throughout the code, I have only one. Uh, basically, I have only one place to actually use the encryption now. So the way I'll do it here, it says import. What's that? So it says duplicate identifier. Oh, yep. Maybe that's duplicate. So this one. All right. So now we are going to first of all, uh, we don't really need a class. Hmm. I'm gonna tap. I'm gonna think about how do I organize this. Should I just create like a function and just export that, or I should I should just keep that as a TypeScript class. Hmm. I am reading your question. Um, all right. Why it's not updating? That's weird. Okay. It seems like it's 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 gonna hash the password and then check against it. But what I was trying to do is basically create that as service, not a, so I could inject that in nestauth.module file. So I'll just go and create that's auth service. Uh, and I don't know why it didn't actually create that. So if I click here, the service is there, but for some reason I cannot see that in a WebStorm. WebStorm is probably not loading. So I'll do open selected file, and that is here. Okay, I am looking at library nest auth, and it actually went there, nest auth bicrypt. It's weird. So I'll just to expand everything. So I'll go to source, and here we actually created that in a nest auth, and this actually shouldn't even go there in the source folder. Yeah, that's the problem there. So I will do a reset, because in the source there shouldn't be a library, that there shouldn't be a source folder there. So I'm gonna have to find out what's going on there. That's local changes. So it is not even reading those files. And these are the 4 files that are just being read. So I will go ahead and then just delete those files for now. So do rollback. Okay, that should be gone. It won't because, yeah. It won't, because this is not part of the Git yet. So what I'll do, I'll just close this file and I try to create it again, because this is called the initial says cannot read, write, block code, hash password. I understand that, because it is actually not it's not injectable. So if I go to bytecrypt here, I'm gonna add at injectable. Okay, because if we look at this auth service here, we got this injectable, right? But I want to make really right with like Nest.js. I want to just create that with a semantic. So I'll go to libraries, to nest auth, go to lib, util, and here's the problem. I'm going to cut this function and I'm going to open a scratch file, and that would give me, actually, let's do this. So new scratch file, and we need the TypeScript scratch file. I'm gonna just sort of paste that here. Okay, so that's just a scratch file, and then what I'll do is just get rid of this for now. I'll just get rid of it, and also, oops, get rid of this for now as well, because we're gonna create of like just having a class. So I'll just use semantics, and for now let me check what is going on there. It had to create this folder, so I'll just get rid of this. Shouldn't be anything in the source folder. Source folder should not be even in the project. There's no such thing as source. So within the service, we got problem now. I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to do Angular semantics, and we do service. So that would be nest service here, and service name we can just say BCRY. Click OK, and I hope this will create the service inside this util folder now, not somewhere else. Yeah, again, this is not really following the schematic, so I believe there's a problem with the WebStorm in terms of creating that service. So now we got this bytecrypt service, bytecrypt.service.ts file, and now inside this, now I'm gonna paste that code. Yeah, I'll need that static now. Okay, and also we'll go and add this service to nest auth. So we got providers, and I'll just do bytecrypt. This one. So once we add this bytecrypt service, then we should be able to import that. So hash password is there. That fix it. And now if I go ahead and then choose, instead of like this hash password from bytecrypt, I'll use get bytecrypt service.hash password. I'll do import as well, auto import done, and that should be good now. And what's the problem here? Create method hash password. Okay, I did create hash password there. There is a method there. It is probably indexing. It's not reading. If I do create hash password, what is that? It is add the static. That will be overriding the function. Okay, let's see what happens now. Hi Mahendra, how are you, mate? What am I doing wrong here? Oh man, it's scratch a bit. Ah, ah, stressful. Okay, so we get the user by email. We got all the user properties, and I'm going to uh, this is the password that we're getting passed. We override that with just a pass. Okay, and um, once that's done, then we can check against the pass. So let's do some breakpoints here. I'm gonna do a breakpoint in the results. Okay. And a breakpoint on the null. I'm not sure why null is still there. So let's run the debugger again and let's find out what's going on. Okay, so let's go to our api.http file and I'm gonna try logging in with this user. Let's see. Okay, so we hit that breakpoint. That's good. So if we look at the debugger now, the password is pass. Actually, pass is equal to the password. User is undefined. Email is this. So we'll let this go to, let's just say, let's just do this. Okay, and then we go to, because that's a wait. That'll take us here. And I'll do a breakpoint there as well. Now it says unauthorized. We're gonna rerun this, and then we get to see I'm gonna press F9, and then you got the password is with the password. That's fine. User T4, that's good. And then we did hash this, and then now what I'm checking is if the user and the password in the user, that's good. Okay, that would be there, and user dot password, which is this one, and then the pass is coming as this one. So basically the password is actually not the hash is not working properly. So if you take a look at this by script, here we got the salt round, and now we're hashing this, right? So maybe it's good to actually try out a couple of things. I mean, if this hashes the password or not. So here we got this backup, the unit testing, and that's really good. We're gonna have to do a lot of unit testing in the next session. But for now, let's find out why it's not doing it. So best way to do is maybe we just want to register a new user. So I'll go to user and I'll replace 4 with let's just say 6. And I'll do replace all. Okay, I'll save it, and then let's go ahead and then register this user. So where is the register call? Yep, and in the auth, right, let's do a register. All right, this is a problem. We're gonna let it go. Stop. Okay, let's do register call, and it says enter valid email. What's going on there? We have an email, but if we look at the user section, refresh. Oh yeah, we already have this, but the password was stored as this password. Okay, all right. So let's finish the register function as well. So we got auth controller, and we're gonna find where is the register, this one, and then here it's just storing it. So I will do user dot password equal to await by backup service dot hash password, and we just pass in user dot password. Okay, and that's right. Now we'll do user, and we can replace 6 with, let's just say, 11. I'll do replace all. Save it, and then we go and run the register call again. Let's see. All right, we got this backup now. So here's a password, and there you go. So we got the user created now with the hashed password. So let's go and verify that in the database. Yep, so T11, and this is the password there. And the password, you can see it's kind of similar. Actually not. Let's see. So now log into the user. So we'll go up, and then I'm gonna change this to 11, and the password would just be password. Let's go play this, and that gets here, and you can see in a debugger we got the password as password in T11. So let it go, and then it will hash it, and now it is going to return the user still unauthorized. So something's wrong here. So we get the user, we get the email, we get the password. We're hashing that with the same function. Okay, and I'm going to just say change this to hashed password just to make it change. Okay, and then we are going to check this with hashed password. I'll just use const. Okay, now I'm going to add a watcher to this, and I'm going to add a watcher to this. Let's save the file, and we're just going to rerun this. We get there, and then right now user the password is not right, so let it go. Collecting data, and then bycrypt. All right, so user the password is equal to this, and hashed password is different. So what's going on? Right. So basically it's hashing again. We shouldn't be hashing. We should not be hashing. Yeah. I know what I'm doing wrong here, guys. So we'll just figure it out. So here's a hash password in a validated user. We shouldn't be hashing the password. We should be comparing the password. Okay. So I'm going to go back to register function for now. And I'm going to find out where is the register function. Here's the register user. And here I'm going to just hash that. Okay. With that hash function. And we're going to create another static method. I'm going to say compare password. Okay, it takes a password as a string and it will return a promise as boolean. Okay, true or false. So now we just say return await backrib dot compare password. I want to find what is the compare password. Okay, so backrib dot compare, this one, and then we pass in pass first and then hash. I'm not sure what is this hash coming from. We got a backrib.compare, which is passing the pass, but it required the hash as well. I'm actually mixing Nest.js with Angular a bit. That's what I'm doing. Because in Angular you could just access this, but here it's asking me to add this static. Anyways, I'll do that. Okay, so we got this salt. Don't need that. Is that just be number? Um, here we're getting an error saying the property password does not exist on the user interface. Well, it is actually. So if I go to find one, and that returns a user interface, and here's a password. Why it's saying it's not, it does not really. It did, didn't it? Like, if I check the local host here, and I check the difference, what I was doing, like, for example, local history. I'll check the local history for this function. The webstorm is almost dying. My OBS is using about, I don't know, 20, 30% resources. Okay, so I was able to, let's just say this bit. Yeah, so I was able to access this user.password and it was fine. But I'm not sure why it is not letting me access it there. That's weird. So I can do one more thing here. If I can just do like cut this bit and just paste it here. And now it's letting me access it. Okay. So I don't know what's going on there. um, anyways, I'll just compare password and I would like to just do a breakpoint there. And I want to add a watcher to this pass and watcher to this hash. Okay. So we got this user pass. I'm going to get rid of these two requests. Let's go to api.http file and I'm going to now run it with the login function. All right, we got here. So it's collecting data. We got a password. User still undefined. So if I go to just click here and I let it go. Now users is like a model hasn't come back yet. So here we got the hash password. So we got a password. Okay. And then we got this hash. Right? So JQ is the end story. So let it go and finger crossed. So now if we look at user.password, I want to check whether this is coming as true or not. It is actually coming as true because some reason it became like true on this point. But the thing is, I am trying to access user.password. So if I do console.log user.password, what it's gonna do? It's not letting me access it. That's weird. I know what the problem is because this is a wait call and it does. It does. It actually does. So oh, so basically it's an asynchronous call that's a TypeScript linter is telling me don't do it because it's not gonna return if it could cause an issue. So I'll just do run it again. And now I'll do run it and I'm gonna check the console and here's a hashed password. So basically your hash stuff working now. I don't need this if. So I kind of learned one more thing today. Uh, how you guys going? Okay, so just let it go. Uh, I'm gonna take like 10 minutes break, 10-15 minutes break, guys, and I will be back. So I'm just gonna write down on the chat. Let's just write it a bit bigger. And I'm gonna say, oh, I'm on break. Okay, so I'll be back in about, I don't know, 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. And thank you for sticking around, and I'll be back. It's okay. Alright guys, I'm back. How you all doing? Still, there are 6 people. Hi. Okay, so now we are going to test the whole code one more time. But before I do that, because I know it's working, so I'm going to commit this code and push it to the GitHub. So the way you do that, I'm actually going to use WebStrong feature, so I exactly can see visually what I'm committing. So this file, yes, I need that. Yeah, I can commit this one as well. Auth controller. So let's edit that content. I'll just jump to the source, and no, that's fine. And auth service, the changes that we did, that's good. Nest auth module, yeah, but I need those files as well. So they are like universal files. I don't want to commit package.log file, and there are some on version files, so we'll just add those as well. Okay, so that should be good. And now I will just type my name. I'll just sign off commit, and then here in terms of features, this is a problem when you're working with like a very high uh, pixel, because I usually do a 4K and I can see a lot of things on my screen at the same time. I don't really switch. Okay, so I'll just do commit, and let's see what happens. Alright, lucky there's no cleanup required. So I'll just do a push as well to repository. And right now I'm working on a branch, so if I show you the branches in the repository, I've only got this branch at the moment. I'm just gonna delete JW auth guard. I actually leave that there in the remote. Okay, so now it's time for us to test. We push the code. I'm going to stop the debugger, so let's go and stop the debugger by pressing Command F2. Or I can do like, this stop all. Anyway, so our debugger is, so I'll just make a little bit more space for debugger. Oh, what I've done. Okay, so let's get a package.json. Guys, it's actually really annoying. I can't really work in this browser, so I'm just gonna change this to scaled low resolution. I'm gonna go to low resolution. Now I hope you guys still able to see, and now it has become a low res. Now for my other 4K screen, I'm gonna do a low res again because the computer is like kind of like struggling. So I can do, there should be a 1080p low res there. Anyway, okay, that should be good now. So now you guys should be able to see like me working a bit fluently compared to like slow WebStrong. Alright, so I'm gonna go to package.json and I'm gonna run this script. I'm gonna show you visually what I'm doing because if you don't really see visually, then you don't know what's going on. Okay, so let's do a debugger, and you got the debugger running on the right side. Okay, so debugger is running. Now we go to API file. Alright, so I'm gonna open this structure on the left side so I can switch quickly. So first of all, let's go and update the user. So I'm gonna do a replacement for 11 to, let's just say 12. And then I'll do replace. So I'm gonna find out the shortcut key for that. There's no shortcut key. Okay, anyways. Right, so now in a structure, you guys can see I'm gonna right click in the structure and I can just do a run right here. So instead of just, switching between, I can just quickly run these straight away. So I don't want to go to the services and do that. So now we got the version back. That's good. I'm going to release a new version of the app. So release, and there's a new version release. And then next we are going to create a new user. First, let's try verifying the user. So the shortcut key for that is Control Shift R. That's what I'm going to be using. So I'll do this and it says response body empty. So we need to return there's no user exists for this command as well. So what I'll do, go to auth controller and then we go to verify user code, and I'm going to do a to-do here. So WebStorm has a really nice feature that you can write to-dos. VS Code can do that as well, but here I'll say implement error response. Okay, implement response if there is no user. Currently, it's coming back as empty. Okay, so that's what we implemented. And then if I go to structure, now I'm going to go to login. So Control Shift R, run the code, and then you get to see the login. That's really not what we were doing because we haven't updated the user here. So I'll update the user, go to structure, and I'm gonna run the code now. Okay, it's still, the debugger is running, guys. 1 second. Okay, this is unauthorized, so the user does not exist. We want to implement the function there onto login, and to do, which would be implement response, implement if no response messages, like if password is wrong or no user found. Okay, we can found, you can do that as well. Next, we're going to do login. I'm gonna run it, and you can see it says command prompt. We'll add that functionality. We just added it to do. The refresh token won't work. So what we do is we will create a new user. I'm going to run this one, and that will create a user in a database. So let's verify that in the database. So right now we don't have that user 12. I'm going to refresh by pressing Command R, and then we get to see there's a user 12 in the database. That's good. I'm going to try closing some of the files, guys, because we just try and test things now. I don't need this scratch file. Yeah, I need this. Okay. So now we registered the user. Now if I go to login call again, and I want to see I can log in. Now if I change the password to, let's just say 2, okay? And if we look at our database for 12, the password is hashed, okay? The password is exactly hashed. Uh, so we should not be able to log in with the password 2, even though it's hashed. Now let's go to structure, and I'm gonna go and run this one, and that will come as unauthorized. But if I change the password as just the password which we actually used, so if we look at user.json file, and that's like the default password that I used, right? So here I need to use that. Now if I do login, there you go, we got the access token now. So that means our login registration stuff worked with the hashed password. Next, we are going to try our refresh API call. So I'm going to do refresh, and there you go. We got the refresh password working. And then I'm going to register the user again, and it says enter valid email. So I should be implementing proper response messages saying if the user already exists or not. All right, so we do a valid token test if that's okay. And since user has a valid token, so that means it's good. If the user is still there, that's like a testing. So now what we need to do, let's just log out first. Okay, and then test a valid token. It will just say unauthorized. That's good. So now let's try resetting the password. So do reset the password. It says unauthorized because we're not logged in. So we need to send a proper token. So let's log in first. So there's a command for that. Yes, I logged in. Here, I logged in. Now I'm going to do a valid token if that's the case. Yep, user has a valid token. So now what I'll do here is I will call this reset. So reset would be going in password 123, and the function that we want to go to would be reset password. So currently the reset password has not been implemented. So now let's go and implement that first. So just like a refresh token, we are going to open auth service. So let's just do auth service. And here we have a reset password function. And then we are going to first of all go back to the code and here say, how do I check if the user has a valid token? Okay, it is not implemented yet. No. It is JW3 auth. So JW auth guard will, verify that the user is there. Then what we need to do is we need to pass in uh, request.body. Okay, reset user password. Then here we got the user, and let's see the request. Let's see the requests that are coming in. So instead of just doing this, I'm going to just return password reset. Okay, but I would like to see the response. So I'll just do request equal to request. Okay, and then we do console.log request. Okay, request.body actually. Let's find out what's in the body. All right, I'm gonna do a debugger here as well and debugger there. And then let's go to this one. yeah, this one, reset password. So let's run it again. All right, so what is a request? Requested body is undefined. Why is that? Okay, there you go. We got the requested body password equal to password. So that's good. Uh, Now we'll just do reset password. Okay, so I'm going to update the entry for that particular. So this time we're gonna have to look at how do we update the data. So we learn how to insert the data, but how do we update the data? So I'm gonna go to Chrome browser, and what I've been using in this was this Mongo, and I'm gonna try uh, finding updating the data. So basically, the data can be updated by just using a plain Mongo's package. So what we will probably need to do is we need to. I think I've already implemented that somewhere in my code. How do I? Because I'm coming back like after a couple of months working on this project. I'm not really able to remember how do I update it. Anyways, let's go back, and I'm going to. Yeah, that will require some searching for me. Okay, I think I found the solution. So um, let's just get rid of this code. Okay, let's get rid of that as well and uncheck this. Get the body. Uh, First of all, we'll just do const new password equal to request. Sorry, we'll do if request dot body dot sorry um, password in request dot body. If that's the case, then we are going to do const new password equal to, and we can actually we're using the bycrypt there, so that's good. We'll just move this up there. We can do return just okay. So that will do the exception handling, and then here we getting the body inside password. Okay, and we also need a user. So I think I'm able to access user somewhere up there, just on the fly. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go open the user service and it says find via email. Um, hmm. the workaround for now, guys. I'm going to just use that. So I'm gonna do uh, user doc. I'm gonna do this dot user service. Find one. Find one via email, and I'm going to do user dot email. Okay, and that's gonna be user document. Then I'm going to basically do something like the new password. So first of all, we do user document dot, and now hmm, yeah, there is a save. Okay, so press the body, the password came back as password 123. Okay, the new password is coming back as undefined. And it says bad request. Okay. So what I'll have to do there is, oh wait, that should do it. Mhm. There you go. So we got the new password, which is hashed. Requested body, the password is this, and user document come as null. If I let it go, yeah. So user document is not coming back. So user service, and then so find one via email. That's user service, and that has this find via email. I want to watch the request. So I'll run the code again. And I want to see what's the request. What does the request say? So here we got incoming request. And I got this, the body. And then we got the user there as well. Okay, so request.user. That's what I need. So instead of doing a document, I will just have the new password. I'll let it go for now. And what I want to do here is we got a new password, and I'm going to set the password. Let's get rid of this one. We know that password is there. So I'll do so request dot user dot password equal to new password. Okay, and then that probably the read only object only. We might have to create a new one. So request dot user dot save. And now I'm going to run the code again. And let's see. That option as internal server error. Wow. What's wrong? And here we got the user object and user password save. It wouldn't save it. Hmm. Man. That's gonna take a bit of time for me to understand. Oh, it's got internal server. Hmm. There's a lot of things that have to improve, guys. Oh, excuse me. All right, guys. I think we have done the job there for the resetting password. So what I'm doing now is gonna test it. So first of all, let's go and log in. We'll get the token, and that's the password. Okay. And then what we're gonna do here is reset password for this, and then we get to see this is the password. Now we have reset. Let's verify that T12. And right now the password is this, but I want to see password 123 being updated. There you go. The password is getting updated. Password 123. So let's go to user service, and then we are going to just hash that. So auth controller, if password in request.body, then we are going to just bicrypt that password. Yeah, so let's do something like Oh, I think the password is going to be updated now, so we'll do now check. Okay, so we got that. There it goes. The password has been updated now. So now if I go to check login again with that password 123, it's going to say unauthorized because the password is no longer authorized. But if I do valid token check, yes, user has a valid token check. So I'll do logout, logout successful. I check valid token, nope, not valid. And if I log in again, it's gonna say unauthorized. So now I have to type 3, save, and then let's run it again. Now we get the token back. So that means our authentication and the reset pass, we were also able to save the user. We're actually, now there's a lot of improvement requires in our code. There's a lot of comments that we need to define, and we need to come up with like a proper, for example, a pattern. Another thing I want to do here is log out is 20 seconds, so I'll just do 1 second log out. Yeah, so that's pretty good place to finish our live stream, and I'm going to just comment this code and finish it then now. Okay, everything is all good. I just want to do this lock uncheck this one. I don't want to do it. So yeah, I'll just say reset password completed. Okay, so let's just do comment and push. I'll do comment and push. Okay, so today's live stream was good. We got to implement that reset password functionality. We also added some improvement to the code, and now pretty much all our registration, login, logout, valid user, and it's looking good. Now I'm gonna start adding some documentation for this, and then in the next live stream we are going to publish this as an open source library. And then you guys will be able to download that. If you're using Nest.js, you should be able to just install that in just like in a package.js. That's about it. That's it. Then you will be able to add this authentication system to your app. So yeah, it's like it's gonna be like out of the box authentication system. And also before we do that, yes, we need to do unit testing. We need to test our code properly. Uh, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the live stream. It's been almost two hours and 41 minutes since I'm live. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys another 2-hour live stream tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys in the next one. Cheers. Bye.